Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are here going to talk about and discussing the future of Silent Hill, plus talking about Silent Hill F. Talk about both these things in this video. As people know, the Silent Hill franchise, prior to this, was in kind of in slump, been in a deep sleep for over a decade at that point in time. And seeing rumors swirling of Silent Hill games coming in and out ever since like 2019, 2018, been hearing a lot. And with the basically announcement of a mobile game, which it had mixed reviews from people, and not a lot of people were fans of it. Some people do like it, but majority of the people disliking it. But I never tried it, so I'm basically was Ishiwashi with the game. So with the next lineup game being Short Message, which is basically a little small game, like a short story game. This doesn't tie to anything or anything like that. It's just a short game that is a pretty short and small game. It's pretty good, and it's really good. It's a really good game. And I've tried it and played it, and how it's a bit, like somewhat. It just has the same Silent Hill core mechanics and core stuff, with new characters and everything, like it's always been with the Silent Hill games. And then the biggest game that came out, which is Silent Hill 2 Remake, which I have made a separate video of, link down in the description, is about one of the best remakes ever made, and I have been in love with this game. Every time I look at videos, making game, and like playing it, it's always amazing. And now, as of March 13th, this game has been sold 3 million copies worldwide, which is nothing to sneeze at, and it's really, really good that's been sold this much copies at that time. And heck, less than a freaking month, the game was sold 1 million copies in less than a month, which is insane. In my opinion. It's really beautiful. It just shows that there's still people out there that are clamoring for Silent Hill stuff, and knowing that this is the success of the remake, hearing as well rumors of a potential another Silent Hill remake, because as it turns out, and it's been kind of confirmed, that Konami and Bloober Team are working with another Silent Hill game. So it could be anything. It could be the Silent Hill Born from Wish DLC, which is gotta be something that I feel would be the case, or it would be a possibility it could be Silent Hill 1 remake. Now, people have been speculating and saying that Silent Hill 3 remake will be the next remake. I don't think it would be the case whatsoever. You need to have Silent Hill 1 before Silent Hill 3, because for those people who are new to this, or not fans of the franchise, or have no clue about the lore of the franchise, Silent Hill 1 and Silent Hill 3 are taking place in the same universe, because Silent Hill 1 and Silent Hill 3 is the sequel of Silent Hill 1. It's a direct sequel. It continues where the first story left off. The first game left off. So, need to have the first game. You can't have the third game without the first game. So we need the first game to be made, and it would be scary. I would guarantee that Silent Hill 1 would be very terrifying, and it'll be scary. Be very, very scary. So whatever Bloober Team's been cooking up, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what the next project will be for the Silent Hill with the remake. Because of course, there's not always going to be just remakes. There's going to be new games. And right now, we have about 3 more projects. And one of the projects is going to be the next topic, Silent Hill F. Now, this game, Silent Hill F, is a very interesting, yet I would say a very unique game in the franchise, for multiple reasons. The first thing, and I think it's pretty much very obvious, that for the very first time in the Silent Hill franchise, the game takes place in Japan. For those people who do not know about the Silent Hill series, Silent Hill, it's more of a kind of a Western horror. Like, it's basically what a Western horror would look like, with Western settings and Western characters. Basically, American setting, American characters. But for the first time, Konami is breaking the mold with it, having Japanese characters and Japanese setting. And the game takes place in 1960s. So basically we're going all the way back to the 60s with the game. And the game looks amazing, and seeing the trailer, really, the game itself, in terms of graphics, it looks amazing, and the game gives me such a vibe, like a PS2 kind of vibe. Like, it kind of harnessed back the PS2 era of survival horror at the time, with games like Kuon, Siren, and Fatal Frame. These are the games I feel like these games are based on. Heck, because Kuon is a game that sets in like old Japan. So, as well, Fatal Frame, mostly the first game, it gave me a lot of Fatal Frame 1 reference to it. And of course with Forbidden Siren itself, with the first Siren game, with the creepy atmosphere. The word beauty has been thrown around a lot. In terms of the transmission. Because the Fog World and the Other World, it is depicted with the main character. Now, this game, Silent Hill F, is a very interesting, yet I would say a very unique game in the franchise, for multiple reasons. The first thing, and I think it's pretty much very obvious, that for the very first time in the Silent Hill franchise, the game takes place in Japan. For those people who do not know about the Silent Hill series, Silent Hill, it's more of a kind of a Western horror. Like, it's basically what a Western horror would look like, with Western settings and Western characters. Basically, American setting, American characters. But for the first time, Konami is breaking the mold with it, having Japanese characters and Japanese setting. And the game takes place in 1960s. So basically we're going all the way back to the 60s with the game. And the game looks amazing, and seeing the trailer, really, the game itself, in terms of graphics, it looks amazing, and the game gives me such a vibe, like a PS2 kind of vibe. Like, it kind of harnessed back the PS2 era of survival horror at the time, with games like Kuon, Siren, and Fatal Frame. These are the games I feel like these games are based on. Heck, because Kuon is a game that sets in like old Japan. So, as well, Fatal Frame, mostly the first game, it gave me a lot of Fatal Frame 1 reference to it. And of course with Forbidden Siren itself, with the first Siren game, with the creepy atmosphere. The word beauty has been thrown around a lot. In terms of the transmission. Because the Fog World and the Other World, it is depicted with the main character. In the Silent Hill transmission, they have described the story as this. Shimizu Hanako was living her life as an ordinary teenager. That is until her town is suddenly shrouded in fog and begins to change in a horrific way. Now she must explore the town she no longer is recognized, while you solving puzzles and fight strange enemies, and doing everything she can to survive in order to face the ultimate decision that she must make. This is a tale about a beautiful yet horrifying choice. So, Hanako, which is definitely the main character of this game, is going to deal, of course, with the town of Silent Hill, fog, fucked up enemies, and everything. And the game is a psychological horror game. So basically, the enemies, the environments are gonna be based on the character itself. Very similar to James Sunderland in Silent Hill, and how the enemies represent James's emotions, personality, and all the above. So, seeing now, we're definitely going through Hanako's mind, that she is going through all of this, and you can tell how the other world is different, and the other world does affect the character's mindset and everything. Like, if you look at the other world from Silent Hill 1 and Silent Hill 3, is very blood, rust, metals and chains, is such a fucked up place. And in Silent Hill 2, it's full of rust as well, and very grimy with the second game. Here, it's more of a bunch of sakuras, and a bunch of flowers illuminate the whole place. So the other world can look beauty and scary at the same time. Scary and it can be terrifying and beautiful. Terrifying and beautiful, I think, are the two kind of main ingredients with this game. These two words are very important and align with where it comes to Silent Hill F. So, unfortunately, there is not a lot of information when it comes to the game, and when it comes to the gameplay. When it comes to the game, because there's no gameplay footage, it's mostly a story. And I think the game is mostly going to be a story-based game, like every Silent Hill game. And I think it kind of follows Silent Hill 2's kind of formula of storytelling in some way. But the difference is we have a teenage girl, and again, it's not the first time Silent Hill's protagonist being a female teenager, because the last time we have a female teenager is Heather Mason for Silent Hill 3. So now we don't know a lot in terms of the story, and we don't know a lot about anything. Is right now we are just waiting for any further videos or any further storytelling when it comes to the character. Again, this is just the reveal trailer of the story and the characters and how she's gonna deal with enemies. And I think she has as well kind of a stalker enemy as well, with this thing being kind of a stalker enemy, kind of a Pyramid Head-esque. I definitely do believe that's a kind of a Pyramid Head-esque kind of character. It's gonna be for her. So basically the game will be very kind of similar to Silent Hill 2, but it's more Japanese and more Japanese folklore. I think it does explore that. And you go to like very old places, and you go to temples. For what I'm seeing, one of the in the trailers, going to the temple, and it feels like it's a kind of a battle against her own in making decisions. And to me, it looks like a very interesting game, and it does again harness back to the old survival horror games from the PS2 era. So yeah, it's a really good game. Graphic looks amazing, the characters look beautiful, and I'm definitely will keep an eye on any further updates when it comes to the game. And yeah, that's all I have to say about it. Like, in conclusion or in closing to this video, this has been a very fun ride with the Silent Hill revival. The previous games were great. Silent Hill 2 is amazing, and Silent Hill F does usher in a brand new era, and ushers in Konami, them basically breaking the mold of having only Western characters and setting to now Japanese characters and Japanese settings. And again, this is gonna be a very interesting and unique game to play and to experience. And yeah, that's all I had to say about it. Thank you guys for watching the video. If you did, like, subscribe, and share the video. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.